In late 2023, rumblings started to emerge online that Universal Studios were looking to build a park in the UK. Don't be silly, they said. They tried that once in the 90s and look how that turned out. Badly. It turned out badly. Then in 2012 it was announced that Paramount would open its own park in 2018. Then 2022, then 2024, which is this year, and where is that park now? Oh, they're being sued. Needless to say, here in the UK we don't have much luck when it comes to opening new parks. In fact, the most recent major park to open in the UK was Legoland Windsor in 1996, and in that time 5 more have closed. So when these initial Universal Studios rumblings happened, nobody really paid them much attention. Until in December 2023, YouTube channel Theme Park Stop released a video titled Universal Studios Great Britain, Location Revealed for Universal UK Park, which featured solid evidence of the likely location of a ground-up Universal Studios theme park located just outside the town of Bedford. This too was initially met by skepticism, but nobody really expected Universal to give the response that they did. They confirmed it. They confirmed it. Yes, just 24 hours later, Universal spoke to a journalist at the global powerhouse that is the Bedford Independent and confirmed that they were indeed looking at a site in Bedford, specifically Kempston Hardwicke, which is home to about 6 people and a pigeon. Suddenly, the naysayers weren't saying nay anymore, and a couple of days later, Universal publishes a website laying their cards on the table. Yes, we have the land, and yes, we're looking into building a theme park. But no, nothing is a certainty at this stage, so don't get too excited. So, what exactly do we know about Universal Great Britain so far? In late 2023, Universal acquired a UK company called Cloudwing UK Limited, which owns 480 acres of land either side of Manor Road in Kempston Hardwicke, Bedfordshire. It's part farmland, part disused brickworks, and some of the land is surrounded by water, a thing Universal are all too comfortable building around. Similarly, the land is completely flat, which makes it perfect for those big old tasty warehouses they like to stick their rides in. Because the site is this weird hourglass shape split in two by a road, we can assume that Universal will have to get creative with the layout of the resort. But don't let the awkward shape fool you, there is a lot of land here. Universal owns 480 acres, and to put things into perspective, Islands of Adventure is about 110 acres and fits comfortably on the southern site. This is similar to Universal Studios, Magic Kingdom, Epic Universe, the entire state of Florida, and the moon. So if Universal use the land wisely, they have room for at least 2 theme parks and a number of on-site resort hotels. But how exactly are guests supposed to get there? Initially, you might think the potential site for Universal Studios Great Britain might not be the most obvious of choices. This could possibly be somewhere in or around London, but land around London is expensive, and in all honesty, there isn't a whole lot of it, especially for building a theme park on. And anyway, Bedford is less than an hour from London, so it's not like Londoners will have to travel too far. In fact, most people in general won't have to travel all that far. To put it into perspective, Walt Disney World has 12 million people who live within 200 kilometres of the Orlando resort. In Paris, 22 million people live within 200 kilometres of Disneyland. Kempston Hardwicke, 49 million people live within 200 kilometres, more than double that of Disneyland Paris. That is a hell of a lot of people who don't live all that far away. Plus, international visitors can fly into Luton Airport, which is only about 30 minutes by car. Not to mention 2 separate railway lines, each within a mile. Not to mention that one of those lines has a station slap bang in the middle of the Universal site. With some improvements, both lines could comfortably bring guests into the resort from across the UK. If you want to get to the site by car, the country's major north to south motorway, the M1, is just a few miles away, and the A421 dual carriageway is just a stone's throw. This road is already having major improvements, opening up even more visitors to access the site with fewer headaches. And hopefully a dedicated slip road is built off the A421 to make access to the resort simple and divert the need for traffic to go through local villages. And one positive piece of news to back that up is that in February 2024, the UK government announced it was backing Universal's plans, with Transport Secretary Mark Harper announcing that road improvements would be funded to aid the bid. For once, the British government has decided to do something good. Maybe there is a chance this park will get built after all. Universal is keen to get local people on side. That much is evident from them confirming their plans back when Theme Park Stop broke the news in late 2023. However, local MPs Alistair Strathern and Mohammed Yassin have apparently been in talks with Universal for some time, possibly going back as early as May 2023. Universal have likely seen what NIMBYs can do in the UK, such as the headaches locals have caused for the likes of Alton Towers. If you get locals on your side, you're going to have a much easier time. In February 2024, Living Life magazine published the results of a survey where it asked local people about how they felt about Universal's plans, and the overall results were extremely positive, with a massive 81% approving or strongly approving of the resort. This ain't Universal's first rodeo, so you can expect them to engage with local communities to make sure voices are heard. Let's just hope no rare Bulgarian jumping spiders are found hiding anywhere on the land. So, what can we expect from a Universal Studios resort in the UK? Well, at this stage, only the theme park gods, aka Universal's resort planning and development team, know the answer. Theme Park Stop suggests that there'll be no cloned attractions from Orlando to prevent the 1 million Brits from continuing to visit the Sunshine State every year. But that doesn't mean there won't be duplicated themes or clones from Hollywood, Japan, Singapore or Beijing. That means we could see IPs like Jurassic World, Transformers, Minions and The Fast and the Furious, but we won't get the likes of Jurassic Park River Adventure, Transformers The Ride, Minion Mayhem or Fast and Furious Supercharged. Which is a shame, it really is. There's also a major question mark about whether or not we get Harry Potter. Would Warner Brothers even allow it, considering the Harry Potter studio tour is less than an hour away? I suppose it depends on how much Warner Brothers hates money. And it's not like Harry Potter would make or break the park, but there may be certain expectations from the public, since the UK plays a major role in the books and movies. And if they are sticking to the no duplicate rides but they could have duplicate IP rule, there's nothing stopping Universal from building Hogwarts Castle but sticking a Chamber of Secrets ride in there instead of Forbidden Journey. But please, Universal, bring the Jurassic World Adventure ride over from Beijing, I beg you. Something else that Theme Park Stop alluded to were the rumours that Universal could be looking to acquire other British-centric IPs such as James Bond, Paddington and The Lord of the Rings, which I'm sure many would be happy to see if the resort really didn't want to lean too heavily on Harry Potter. So, what happens next for Universal Studios Great Britain? Currently, Universal's in the middle of conducting feasibility studies to make sure the site could work as a theme park. Yes, you might assume they already have a good idea about that since they spent hundreds of millions acquiring the land, but they just need to be sure. In January 2024, Manor Road, which cuts through the middle of the site, was closed so that borehole tests could be carried out to see if it would be possible to build a bridge crossing the railway. Could this be an early sign of the government's pledge to improve infrastructure around the site? Interestingly, also in early 2024, Universal Studios were looking to hire an intern in the UK. Whether this was a new position for 2024 or not, I'm not entirely sure, but I couldn't find evidence of them looking for specific Brit interns in the past. But if Universal do want locals on their side before launching into a full-scale planning application process, they're going to have to continue being open and honest, and that means hosting consultations for those who live close by, which just so happens to be among the chosen intern's responsibilities. As for timeframes, rumour has it that Universal wants guests through the gates by 2030, which gives them just 6.5 years from this point. but is that enough? After all, they still have a long way to go, including completing the feasibility survey, speaking to locals, submitting planning applications, working with the government to secure infrastructure improvements, achieving planning permission, starting groundwork, construction, and recruiting and training. It sounds like a lot, because it is, but we know just how efficient Universal can be. At Universal Orlando, Jaws the Ride closed in January 2012, and Diagon Alley opened in July 2014. An insane amount of work to complete in just 2.5 years, so we know they are more than capable, especially if the rumoured 30,000 construction workers is anything to go by. This is all incredibly exciting news. Just a few months ago, British theme park fans were none the wiser, yet behind the scenes, deals were being done so that Universal Studios could acquire a parcel of land within 2 hours of millions and millions of people. Will it happen? Many people hope so, myself included. Hopefully we get more news throughout the course of 2024 as Universal make the decision whether or not to proceed with the resort. But until then, we'll just have to keep peering over fences. And to keep up to date with all the latest Universal Great Britain news, please hit that subscribe button and like the video. We'll be posting updates whenever there's anything new to cover, which is hopefully a great deal over the coming months and years as we potentially edge closer to a Universal Great Britain becoming a reality.